What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're diving into the Last Annihilation, Wiccan and Hulkling. With these two currently being worlds apart, the Last Annihilation has finally hit the Kree Skrull Empire, with Wiccan and Hulkling currently separated, simultaneously defending two different planets against the Mindless Army. And so we're gonna have to see if these two are strong enough to take on the armies of Dormammu. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we're picking up currently with Wiccan and Sword. Abigail Brand, we saw this in the Sword issue. Sword coming to kind of pledge their allegiance to helping Wiccan and Hulkling any way they can. Now, Wiccan doesn't know that Scarlet Witch is dead yet. And this is another thing that Abigail Brand is not only trying to keep secret, but she's trying to earn some good graces. Because when he does find out that his mother is dead, not only is she dead, but she was murdered on Krakoa, he is going to absolutely lose it. And anybody in his path, I would not want to be them. But we see them doing their best to try to defend everything. But the issue is, nothing seems to be moving in any kind of strategic pattern. And this is when they are informed that there are sacred symbols all across this planet. And there is one temple specifically that is the most sacred. And so if it is searching for something, for some kind of power, that's probably going to be the location that they need to go to. Not only that, but Hulkling's sword had been shattered. The Emperor's sword destroyed. Wiccan needs to be able to repair it. And this is when we pick up on Throne World. Picking up with Emperor Hulkling, not only that, we're picking up with Falavel. We're picking up with Photon, Captain Marvel, Legacy, whatever you want to call him, the son of Captain Marvel, the daughter of Captain Marvel. Not only that, we have Hercules and we have Avalanche the Mutant. And as they are all trying their best to fight off all of the mindless ones, Avalanche uses his powers. But in doing this, the ground underneath them completely collapses. And with it going down, everybody except for Avalanche goes down with it. Now, of course, as all of them fall down, Avalanche, this being one of his first missions, he screams to them, "Tell them my name is Richter," as Emperor Hulkling and the rest of them go falling into this abyss. Now, this is when we pick up with Wiccan at the Monastery Lake. And right now, he is trying to cast some magic to be able to mend this sword, to put this sword back together, because this sword is extremely vital to being able to win this war. And as he is working to do this, this is when Abigail Brand makes her appearance, letting them know that she is doing everything she can to be able to defend this place, mounting their defenses and getting ready, letting him know that anything he needs is at his disposal. But right now, something's wrong. He can't connect to his magic, at least not the way that he's used to. He can feel tremors, and something terrible has happened, but he can't place it. And of course, we know Scarlet Witch has been killed. The Scarlet Witch is dead. Abigail Brand knows this, and she is keeping this information. Now, of course, she's going to continue to play like she doesn't. But she makes small little remarks that make it known that she knows this information, but she's not letting it go. Now, a reality warper like him, from a family like theirs, with a temper, short-tempered like theirs are, she is just glad she is not going to be the blunt force of the revenge that comes once Wiccan finds out that his mother had been murdered. Now, this is where we pick up with Emperor Hulkling. Currently, they have found their way to a chamber that has an interface AI that helps them with a lot of things from the past. It was for Kree Supreme Intelligence. More or less, it's a fascist, undead hive mind. All of the previous leaders in one spot. This AI created to help be the ruler prior to Hulkling taking over. But we learn very quickly that this system is not offline. This system has simply been asleep for eons. And Legacy could have sworn this machine was eaten, that this machine was completely offline, that there was no way there could be anything left of it. But somehow, some way, this thing is still existing. And this is where they figure out real quick that this is the perverted computer program that refashioned their father's nega bands into a bomb. This is the butcher that slayed millions, that slayed billions of lives. And this thing has just initiated a protocol to wipe everything on this planet off of it, to start with a clean slate for the survival of all of the Kree. And picking back up with Wiccan and Sword, they are currently holding the line. Right outside of this temple, they are doing their best to hold off the Mindless Army. And Wiccan, he is working so very hard to try to get this sword back together, to mend it as one again. But as he is doing these chants, as he is trying to fix this sword, this is where we see Dormammu make his arrival. And with Dormammu recognizing this to be Demiurge, we see the flame engulf Wiccan and they disappear. And Wiccan finds himself standing before Dormammu. And Dormammu lets him know that he has walked the whirling worlds that he has wrought, the stars that he has set to spin. And all along the way, the only thing that he has found is desperation. A lost soul hiding among ruined fantasies. Wiccan, an individual that just needs to be loved, needs to be adored. Something that Dormammu believes makes a vital weakness, makes them vulnerable. But bringing Wiccan here was a fatal mistake, because Wiccan has been told so many times that there is something dark, something evil, something burning inside of him. But bringing him here was a fatal mistake. And taking a handy tip from Doctor Strange, Dormammu is dirty as sin, but the flames of Fault Line, those are as pure as ever. One of the most authentic sourced magic fuel. And with this, he renders the sword fixed. We see the pieces go back together and the sword, the blade has been renewed. The only issue is there is no current champion to wield it. Now this is what's going to take us to some months back. And we are picking up with Wiccan and Hulkling. The beginning of the Kree Skrull Alliance has begun. The empires have been joined as one, and one of the greatest fighting forces to ever be known is making its way across the galaxy. But as these two sit here and they enjoy the victory, Hulkling tells us a story about Captain Marvel's nega bands. The gauntlets that could summon his father, the ones that brought the Kree warrior Captain Marvel, and for years they had taken turns using it to summon him until the day that he died. And with him passing away, his grave was defiled, and the bands, they had been stolen. But that's not the only history around these bands, because the original history, it falls to a union. The bands were once a symbol of a profound bond, a bond of love. So when the asteroids found the melted slag of Nega Bomb, the depleted ore of the father's bracelets, he asked Asgard to recast them. And with them being recast, they were recast into wedding bands. And this is one of the biggest moments for these two. This is the moment that Hulkling proposes to Wiccan. And with Wiccan saying yes, with Hulkling down on his knee asking that question, we see the rings put on each other's fingers, and the bond, the connection has been forged. So no matter where they are in the universe, they always have a way to one another. And with both Wiccan and Hulkling going against something that they can't fight, but the other individual can. Their partner can do this job. And so we see them both lift up their rings, and we see the power of the bond work. We see the power of these bands, and they switch places. With them switching places, Hulkling now has access to his sword, and he is right here where he wants to be, facing against Dormammu. And on the other side, Wiccan, he has the magical power to take control of everything going on and redirect this blast somewhere it needs to go. And Hulkling, with his magic disrupting sword, he drives it into the chest of Dormammu. And we see Wiccan take this giant world-ending blast and redirect it towards the Mindless Army. And we see the entire armada in the sky, the entire barricade, it goes down in an instant. Now this is all a memory for them. They are just reminiscing on everything that has transpired over the last couple of weeks for them. Because right now they're together enjoying their time, just thinking about how crazy everything was. But while they are having this conversation, this is where Iron Lad makes his arrival, flung back from the distant future to set things right, all of the mistakes of the past. And he is here to gather them up because they are gonna go help and fight side by side. And so these two are off to save the world. And that is where this issue will end. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you guys want to finish off this story, it's going to be concluding in Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 18. Now, I haven't really been covering much of the Last Annihilation, but we have definitely been covering anything Wiccan and Hulkling anytime we get our hands on it. Honestly, they're probably one of my favorite couples within the Marvel Universe. I just really enjoy their dynamic. Their powers together make them one heck of a fighting force. And honestly, these are two characters you can literally do anything and go anywhere with. Especially with him being Emperor now, you have an endless possibilities and the entire universe that you can explore. And that's exactly what we've been seeing going on. And it's one of the great things about this line is just the endless possibilities that you can go with it. And so I really hope that we get some more Wiccan, we get some more Hulkling. I'm really excited to see what happens with Iron Lad and them jumping around, going to the future, whatever the case may be. I am going to sign up for it. I'm going to be there for it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.